Top 10 Netflix anime of 2021 that are currently on the platform. There's no doubt that Netflix is currently one of the biggest streamers of anime. When it first started, there were only a meager few series to choose from. However, it didn't take long for anime to explode onto Netflix's scene, so that today we have lots of our favorite anime to choose from. With different series constantly coming and going, these are the top 10 Netflix anime of 2021, currently on the platform at the moment. Bear in mind that due to licensing rights, not all of these series might be available depending on the country. Number 10, Black Lagoon. Kicking off our list is the explosive anime Black Lagoon. The classic series was made back in 2006, and it was a big hit with fans at the time. The story is set in a depraved, crime-ridden city of Rawanaphur, in Thailand, where corruptions run wild, leaving nothing untouched, even the churches. When an average Japanese businessman, Rokaru Okujima, finally gets a chance to do something interesting by going on a delivery trip to Thailand, he jumps at the chance. However, things don't go smoothly, and Rokaru is captured by a mercenary group called Black Lagoon, who operate in Rawanaphur. After being abandoned by his boss, Rokaru decides to join the Black Lagoon Syndicate. In order to survive, he must quickly adapt to his new environment and the morally questionable challenges that it brings. This is a non-stop, high-octane thriller, full of gunfights, crime lords, the mafia, and a great theme song that might even make you want to become a professional criminal. But seriously, don't become a criminal. Number 9, Neon Genesis Evangelion. Otherwise known as EVA, is widely touted as one of the greatest anime series of all time, and now you can watch it on Netflix. What begins as a relatively normal show about giant fighting robots, well, we did say relatively normal, soon turns into a deep look at the darkest depths of depression and its consequences. This sci-fi masterpiece is a mix of psychodrama and an action-packed adventure, but don't expect to understand what's going on the first time around. You'll definitely need to watch it at least twice to get the story. We're not complaining though, as this is a great series. The version on Netflix has been redubbed, rescored, and retranslated from the original show that aired on TV in the 90s due to licensing issues. However, this new version is still great to watch. Number 8, Parasite the Maxim. Imagine if there was an alien invasion, where the aliens take over your mind and body and force you to become violent, killing machines. Now imagine that alien that tried to take over your body messed up and is now stuck in your hand. This is exactly what happened to 16-year-old high schooler Shinichi Izumi. With no choice but to live with each other, Shinichi and the parasite, now called Miki, must work together in order to fight off other parasites who see them as a threat, and to save the world before it's too late. This quite comedic and action-filled anime will have you hooked after the first episode and possibly a bit more wary of what might come from outer space. Kind of a problem here. If you guys don't like this video, Senpai won't notice me. Oh, phew. Thanks for clicking like. I'm sure he'll look at me now. Number 7, March Comes In Like a Lion. Rei Kiriyama is an elite shogi player who achieved professional status in middle school. Due to his fame in the shogi world, Rei faces an enormous amount of pressure both from the shogi community and his adoptive family. Seeking relief from his never-ending pressure, Rei moves into an apartment in Tokyo. As a 17-year-old living on his own, Rei doesn't really take good care of himself. But when he meets a trio of sisters, Akari, Hinata, and Momo Kawamoto, his world is turned upside down as he finally starts to learn what it means to be loved and cared for unconditionally. As his shogi career continues to take its toll on him both physically and mentally, Rei must come to understand how to interact with others, as well as deal with his own complex emotions. This heartfelt story will definitely tug at your heartstrings and have you rooting for Rei throughout all of his hardships. Number 6, Samurai Champloo. Now this is an anime that you don't want to miss out on. Samurai Champloo is a crazy hybrid of anime mixing Japan's Edo period with sword fighting and hip-hop. That's right, you heard us. This exciting and fun series is set to a hip-hop soundtrack, which really brings the whole show together. The story follows a young and clumsy waitress called Fu Kasumi. After accidentally starting a bar fight, Fu is helped out by a wandering samurai called Mugen, who quickly deals with customers harassing Fu. Caught up in his love for battle though, Mugen picks a fight with an unwilling ronin called Jin. This ultimately leads to the destruction of the bar, with Jin and Mugen arrested and facing the death penalty. After Fu helps the two swordsmen escape, she hires them as her bodyguards and sets off on a quest to find a samurai who smells like sunflowers. This should be a fairly easy quest, as long as Fu can keep Jin and Mugen from killing each other along the way. If you're after a lighthearted, fun, and hilarious anime full of action, comedy, and dynamic sword fighting, then look no further. This is the one for you. Number 5. Haikyuu. No doubt you probably heard of this sports anime at least once due to its massive popularity when rival volleyball players Shoyo Hinata and Tobio Kageyama find themselves playing on the same team in high school. They must find a way to overcome their rivalry and learn how to play effectively together if they're ever going to reach the National Volleyball Championships. Whilst the premise doesn't sound like much, its execution is great, with dynamic animation, intense match scenes, and a coming-of-age story as the characters slowly learn how to be a team. You'll soon find yourself rooting for Hinata and the rest of his teammates as they make their way to become the best volleyball team in the country. Number 4. Violet Evergarden. War may be hell, but for some what comes after is worse. Violet Evergarden grew up as a child soldier, sent to fight in a bloody war, which ultimately caused her to lose both her arms as well as her emotional development. Now sent to live as a citizen in a world at peace, Violet finds herself uncertain of what to do next. She decides to get a job as a doll, someone who writes letters for people who want to express their thoughts and feelings on paper. As Violet becomes better at her job, she slowly starts to learn what it means to feel and comes to understand her own emotions. But with the last words of her former commander in her mind, will she ever truly understand what he meant when he said 3 fateful words? I love you. Loved for its beautiful animation and deep and heartfelt storyline, Violet Evergarden illustrates the powers of emotions and how exactly they make us human. Number 3. Your Lie in April. Another quite popular anime now, Your Lie in April really took fans by storm when it came out, and it's not hard to see why. The story centers around a young piano prodigy called Kosei Arima, who, after losing his mother to terminal illness, suddenly finds himself incapable of hearing musical notes. A few years later, Kosei falls in love with a talented violinist called Kaori, who inspires him to start playing music again. This anime explores the effects of traumatic loss on children with lots of empathy for the characters, at times dropping almost all dialogue and using classical music and colorful abstract animation to convey Kosei's inner feelings in a beautiful and sometimes quite sad way. One thing that most fans of the series agree on, however, is that you'll definitely need a box of tissues to get through this anime. Number 2. Demon Slayer. Possibly the most popular anime on Netflix at the moment, Demon Slayer certainly lives up to its hype. When Tanjiro Kamado leaves his family to go into town in order to make a bit of money to support them, he never thought he'd arrive back home to see his family massacred. What's worse is that not everyone was killed. Instead, his little sister Nezuko has been turned into a bloodthirsty demon, consumed by rage and hatred and determined to find a cure for her. Tanjiro will do whatever it takes to slay the demons and protect the remnants of his sister's humanity, even joining the mysterious Demon Slayer's corpse. Full of action, gorgeous animation, and a story that will have you hooked. Demon Slayer is the anime you're missing out on if you haven't yet seen it. Due to the explosion of anime on Netflix, we weren't able to include all the series we wanted to on this list. So here are just a few honorable mentions we thought you should check out. Erased, JoJo's Bizarre Adventure, Toradora, One Punch Man, The Promised Neverland, Anohana, the flower we saw that day. If you're loving our video, don't forget to like and subscribe to keep seeing more. Topping our list of top 10 Netflix anime currently on the platform is the sci-fi thriller Steins Gate. The story follows the self-proclaimed mad scientist, Rintaro Okabe, whose hobby is inventing future gadgets, with his childhood friend, Mayuri Shina, and a perverted hacker called Hashida Itaru. The three pass their time tinkering with the most promising invention yet, the phone microwave. When a series of mysterious events start happening, Okabe and his friends stumble upon an unexpected success with their invention. They soon discover that the phone microwave can send emails to the past, which then alters the flow of history. But what exactly does this mean? Especially if the invention ends up in the wrong hands. Steins Gate is a great sci-fi thriller, which will have you wondering what would you do if you could send emails to the past. Well, that's the end of our list. We hope you enjoyed it. Let us know what your favorite anime on Netflix is in the comments below. Don't forget to like and subscribe to get more videos from Anime Dive X. Who knows, you might just find your next favorite anime. See you next time on Anime Dive X.